In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to access scholarly journals through Hacc's library system. First thing, go to hacc.edu. Then click on Library. Then Databases and Journals. Databases, A to Z. By the way, citing resources is very helpful, and if you're unsure of how to cite resources or how to write it, this will be helpful. And the help, that is also helpful. So, right here is some assistance, and if you're not sure how to cite things, right there. Now, the database I like to use is toward the end of the alphabet, so we'll skip right there. I like to use Psych Articles. Now, I'm already signed into the library, so I did not have to enter my Hacc ID or my PIN. When you come into the library, you need to enter these. There's a page before this that you'll have to put in your Hacc ID, your HO and their numbers, and your PIN. Your PIN is the same as your Hacc web password. Make sure that you try to get into the library before, give yourself days before an assignment is due to make sure that you can get in. There is a button there that says, I forgot my password. So you can get help, but sometimes it takes 24 or 48 hours. So do not wait to the last minute. Saying that I couldn't get into the library or I couldn't get to the articles is not an excuse. So please make sure that you try to get into the library early enough to know that you can get in. Anytime I'm asking for research, you're going to need to use the library system. You cannot Google these articles. Anytime you Google, you're going to need to get into the system. Okay, I cannot say that enough. So now, there's basically two types of projects that I have you do, or two different times that I'll ask you to go to the library. One, I will give you the name of an article, and I'll ask you to retrieve that article and then do something with it. I might have you answer questions about it. I might have you write a paper about it. I might give you a quiz about it, something like that. Now, that's very easy, because all you need to do is you'll know the name of the article and you'll know the author of the article. I'll tell you that. So you just type in the name of the article or the name of the author. So just type in his last name, and then you can type in a few of the key words of the study, and you will be able to find that study. If that author wrote several studies, and if he used those keywords in multiple studies, they will pop up also. So you're going to have to be careful that you select the correct one. But even if you have to go through 5 different studies and just make sure that it's the one that was published on that date, it's very easy. So you just type in, so if it was Milgram, you just type that in, and then a few keywords, click search, and as my husband would say, Bob's your uncle. Okay, now the other type of project I may have you do is for our discussion boards. Often for our discussion boards, I will ask you to comment, but I'll say that you need to back it up with research, and that research needs to be done through the Hacc library system. So in that case, I will give you a general topic, whatever we're talking about that week. But then your job is to come into the library and do some research, and then you're going to comment on the discussion board and share what you learned. So now you're looking for something on your own that has to do with a general topic. So I'm giving you the general topic, but you are going to find something more specific about that you're going to share with the class, and you're going to demonstrate that you have gone more in depth with that general topic. So with that, you can just do a search. So let's say we wanted to do depression and adolescence, and well, let's just start there. Okay, there's a ton of articles, 162. So you would definitely want to narrow this down and think about what you are going to comment about in the discussion, and you would narrow it down. So if you wanted to talk about medication, if you wanted to talk about exercise, if you wanted to talk about the impact of coming from divorced families, whatever it is that you wanted to talk about in your discussion, that's how you're going to narrow down what articles you're looking for, because you're looking for an article that you're going to be able to tie in to the discussion and what you want to talk about. A couple things that you're going to want to look for. One, you need to find an article that has a PDF, the full text, or the HTML full text. This means that you can download and print the full journal article. You cannot just use a summary. You need the whole article. That's the only way that you're going to be able to read what was done and understand it well enough to be able to comment on it. You check out the date. So this one was done in 2011, and that's good. I mean, that's pretty recent. Now, there are times that I might ask you to go look for an article that's rather old, and if I do that, it's because it's a classic study. But generally speaking, if you're participating in a discussion, you're going to want to find an article that's fairly recent. So take a look at the date. Hacc librarians are wonderful. They are here to help you. They will give you tutorials. They will help you over the phone. So you can give them a call. They are absolutely fantastic. So that is the very, very basics. I mean, there's a lot of other things you can do. I'm just giving you the very basics to help you get started right now of how to look for a journal article.